And good morning. Welcome to Tarot Time. Welcome to the Medium channel. And for those of you that are catching this as a video, I'm going to start in just a couple of minutes. I like to give the live people a chance to get their notifications and to get on. So we'll dive in just a minute. What we do is we do a weekly tarot forecast for the world around us, for our community, and you may get some personal messages also. And then we have other divination cards and tools. And tarot times been kind of becomes sort of a community hangout that we're doing every Sunday morning. So the comment streams get very active in these. So if you want to share your thoughts with us, I may not see all of your comments, but other people will. So thank you for those of you new and old to this community. I love you. I welcome you. A lot going on astrologically, so I'm going to dive into that in a moment, and then we'll start the tarot and divination work. Oh, good. I actually do have my tarot card. That's a good place to start. So let me grab some water, and we may get some technical glitches, especially on the video. That's been happening a lot lately. Wi-Fi in the Catskill Mountains. What can I say? So anyway, hello, Bonnie Owen. Welcome. Hi, Millie. Welcome. Grand rising to you too. Hi, Lisa and Chris and Jody. Good morning. Good morning, Michael. Glad you can make it live with us. I'm already starting to see a delay on the visual part, so it's already happening. The tech glitches are already happening. So hello, Felicia, and I hope that everybody's having a really amazing and wonderful week. Sometimes we talk a little bit about the current events. I mean, just to be clear, the Medium channel is really about spiritual awakening. So it's the spirituality behind the message. As I'm a medium, a professional psychic medium, so this channel really covers all the spirituality that goes behind developing those and similar practices, channeling, psychic development, and spiritual growth in general. But that said, because the conspiracies are part of the awakening, we do touch on some of that also a little bit here. But if you're looking for good conspiracy theory channels that focus on that, this isn't it. But that said, interesting week. Presidential or ex-presidential mugshots, which is very clearly computer generated or computer enhanced imagery that I've been seeing on social media and the news feeds, not an actual photo. I mean, I believe that it looks pretty apparent to me that it's not real, but maybe it is. But let me also talk about some of the very interesting things that are going on astrologically, and then we can touch on a couple of things, because I just during the week I gathered a little bit more information on what may be going on behind the fires in Maui and some of the fires in California that have come up in past years, and in Canada. So I'll touch on all of this stuff, but let me see if I can remember everything that's going on a lot. Well, today, this morning happened already. Mars went out of Virgo and into the sign Libra. Now my son's at 1 degree Libra, so I'm a happy camper because Mars is going to be trining my son, so that's good for my energy. And also on my natal chart, my Mars is at 0 degrees Gemini. So wait a second, the sun's going to be conjuncting Mars, but my natal Mars is going to be trining the transiting Mars. Okay, it's Sunday morning, so guys got to cut me a little slack. But in any event, if you all have been feeling like the last 6 weeks or so, like tired a lot, moody, I mean, there's a lot that can explain that. I mean, look at the world around us. But also Mars being in Virgo, I mean, Virgo's not an unfriendly sign to Mars, but it's kind of a quiet sign because it's an earth sign, and Mars is very fiery and very action oriented. It likes the air signs better. I'll just put it that way. Oh, Susan's a Libra also. Good morning. Yeah, I'm 1 degree Libra. This the 24th. And I won't tell you my age, but a little hint is I become Medicare eligible. Oh wait, I did I did reveal my age. Never mind. And anyway, heavy Libra in your chart, Millie. Yeah, yeah. I've got a lot of stuff in Libra also. So Mars going into Libra is going to help the Librans. I mean, there's a lot of other factors. What else is going on? Our ruling planet is retrograde. That's Venus, but that's going to go direct on the third. So Venus is really starting to pull up into her station now. And then in a little over a week, yeah, so it's really starting to station now, and then it's going to go direct. Uranus is going to go retrograde. Also, we have the largest full moon of the year coming up on, what day is it? I have my ephemeris next to me. Here in the East Coast, it's Thursday, 9:36 p.m. So that means in Europe, it's going to be actually on the 31st, but here in the States, it's on the 30th. Happy birthday, Felicia. Oh, you're late in this, or actually early in the sign Virgo. Early in Virgo. So you're in a soft cusp with Leo, on that birthday. So another and the 829. So we have a couple of late Virgos. So Mars leaving your sign. I think that's kind of neutral. So where was I? Full moon, super full moon, largest super moon of the year. I could even tell you the degree points. It's 7 degrees Pisces. We're going to have things to talk about with the full moon as we get closer to that, because Pisces is Neptune ruled. The number 7 is Neptune guided in numerology. So and the other thing, and this isn't not in any of the astrology, and it's more like an intuition, but I'm sensing 2 very pronounced solar flares this week. I think one around Friday that could even locally knock out powers or satellites or stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be like a world event or the internet's going to crash or gather your supplies now or that kind of an event. But solar flares, transmit energy and information, into the Earth consciousness, into the collective consciousness. So these are like new spikes of energy, new levels of awakening, and I think things have been relatively quiet on the news front. I mean, a lot's going on beneath the surface, obviously. What's going on with the indictments of the former president, what's going on with some of the stuff coming out about Russia. There's been some noise about a possible new COVID mandates coming in September, big events in September. All these things, their timelines, they're fluid. We've been adjusting that. Good example is that last Sunday, if you were here and tuned in last Sunday, I was pretty concerned about what's going on. There's something going on that turned out to be about the tropical storm in California and the West. And we were talking about how let's keep praying and keep praying for the best. And basically what happened, it was still flooding rain. It was still a difficult time, but from what I hear, it wasn't as bad as what the forecaster said it was going to be. And Death Valley got a year's worth of rain in one day. Well, they average 2 to 3 inches of rain per year, so one tropical storm can do that. So anyways, point being is the power of prayer. So keep the prayers for Maui going. And speaking of which, I did a little bit more research in direct energy weapons, DEW or DEW, Mountain Dew, and apparently they have those in the Hawaiian Islands. Apparently, Lockheed Martin is a big investor in those weapons. They're basically very high level microwave energy weapons or whatever. The interesting thing is also that Lockheed Martin's one of the biggest donators to the Red Cross, which are in there now. And then the burn patterns, just are different, and they found, some people, I forgot their names. I go in different sites and look up different things. But a couple of researchers were showing that there were two California fires last year, I think last fire season, that had similar burn patterns that just don't appear to be natural. I'm going to just say appear and allegedly, because honestly, I don't know for sure what's going on. And we can speculate all we want. But the thing is, the bottom line is that we know that things are happening. We know there's manipulative stuff going on with the powers that be, the governments, deep state, what's behind the governments or over the governments or whatever. And we know there's no transparency. So anything that happens, even a natural event, people are going to point fingers right away and talk about possible conspiracies that could be healed by being transparent. And we've said that before here, and other people have said that also. If you got nothing to hide, guys, be transparent. As long as you're not, we're going to think you have something to hide, and imaginations can run wild. But also, there's very specific evidence that actually supports a lot of these conspiracy theories. Now, some of them become conspiracy facts. Others become like rabbit holes or things that are orchestrated to divert our attention. So while all eyes are focused on Maui, what's going on in the rest of the world? So when there's a big news event, us, those of us that are more savvy and intelligent, what we need to do is find out what other news stories are getting buried. What are they trying to hide from us? Because there's a lot of maneuvering going on. And again, if it's not that hard, we understand that there is a corrupt system at play here. We understand that money is the big game and power over is the big game. So if you follow the prophets of what's going on, you can start to maybe fill in the missing pieces of the events, if that makes sense. So anyway, I don't know if what you're saying is in reference to the fires, and somebody saying forest. I hear a lot of stuff. That's not the one that I meant to flash. This one I think is one. Forest fires in the military weapon. Yeah, yeah, it's not new. Yeah. Thank you, Jean Nolan, of the Inspired channel. So that's Jean, like French for John, I guess. Jean Nolan from the Inspired channel has some very interesting interviews and some very interesting people that come on his channel. It's called Inspired. Thank you for sharing that, Claire, by the way. Interesting. So we have a little bit of inside information here. I work for a company that manufactures avionics communications. So yeah, you may know a thing or two. And I mean, in Canada, Meta is blocking our news. Interesting. Yeah. So there's always clues. And again, like they said in the movie Thrive, yeah, I think that was around, I don't know, 2005 or so. Basically, they're saying the same thing. Follow the money, follow the corrupt flow of power. You'll have a pretty good idea what's going on. And I could go on and on about this. Last week, if you want to go back to last Sunday, really dove in a lot deeper to things like climate change and other aspects of things that may be either manufactured or exploited, depending on your point of view. So, things that come up, sometimes it's, just things that happen that get exploited for, reasons of, money and power. And other times it's something that's created or planned in advance for that end. And the end game seems to be centralization of power, centralization of government, centralization of money. By the way, I heard maybe Michael could fill in a couple blanks at the BRICS meetings, at least from what I heard from Susan Ald, who's not online today, is that it went fairly well from what I heard, or there's some good stuff that happened in that. So that's going maybe back into standardizing money, which in some kind of a precious metal standard, which would, I think, help. And anyway, I'm not an economist, so anyway, that's a little bit of background. Did I mention Uranus is going retrograde? I think I did. There's one or two other astrological things that are happening. But again, we may find that our energies get a little bit better with Mars going into Libra, especially if you've been, tired and drained and going through a lot of emotional stuff. And also with the energy starting to focus in on Libra, especially Mars. Now it's Venus ruled, but the planet Saturn is exalted, or it's most powerful as it transits through Libra. And it's also the scale. So it's about justice, law, and those kind of things. So, I think once we get, the second week into this Mars transit, I think there's going to be a lot going on in the news. I think, from toward around mid to later month, there may be a couple of shocking things. And it's interesting because I'm just seeing a lot of dead birds all of a sudden in my mind. Dead crows. Crows represent law to the Native Americans. So, we may be going into some energy that may remind people of like a possible civil war or revolution in this country. And every time they try to lambaster Trump, whether he deserves it or not, I'm not going to offer opinions on that. But every time they do something against him, the support seemed to rally behind him, and it's almost as if that they want that to happen, knowing that he has a lot of supporters, and rile them up, create more dissension, create more divide, create more anger, more fear, more uprisings. So, guilty or not, the way that they go about things. And I understand there's a judicial process and all that stuff and all the logistics, but reading between those lines, just see how they're doing this and the timing of how they're doing things and how people are reacting, because they know what they're doing. And it's going to be an interesting autumn. And in my 2022 forecast, although I forecasted this later in the year than now, one of the things that came up was that you have some arrests happening, and I cited Donald Trump, but it could be there's the Bidens, especially the son Hunter. There's Anthony Fauci, which we don't hear a lot about, but there's a lot of heat about how the pandemic was mishandled. People are waking up, and things are leaking through or sifting through the barriers of what we see on the mainstream news versus what we don't see. So anyway, so I want to see what Michael is saying here. This is huge, and it will fuel the trend of de-dollarization. BRICS discussed not using the dollar as currency amongst all of the members of BRICS. They will eventually have a gold-backed currency. In a way, I like that a little bit better than a digital backed currency. So at least there's something tangible that would validate wealth. So anyway, I'm missing some of what you guys are saying. So we're saying, so that was another business family based. Yeah. There's so much, misdeeds that we can talk about. Quantum businessman interviewed Sonia from the Tree of Knowledge, who had a lot of interest. That sounds like a really interesting interview. Thank you. And Susan saw a dead crow last week. That's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it could have been picking up on your energy, but I think we got the 60s. I'm just going back in your comments, and I promise we're gonna dive into the tarot stuff in just a second. So I was saying this comment. I lived in Detroit for a while, and I've been wondering if what caused. Oh yeah, you know, these things are starting to come out more, by the way. So I hope you're better, though. Hopefully you're better. Did Saudi and Iran have been accepted as members of BRICS? All right, very good, very good. So let's do a meditation card to get warmed up for the week. Great rising, Yvonne, to you too. Welcome. And you're meditating with cards. You know, each tarot card is a story unto itself. It's a world unto itself, basically. And tarot, you know, came from tarotki, which was actually a game that was popular. I think it was King Ferdinand II, or around that time in the Renaissance, anyways. Based on prints by Renaissance artist named Bonifacio Bembo. This according to the late and great Rachel Pollack, and her book 78 Degrees of Wisdom. She talks about the history, by the way. And but what they found when they were examining these prints, they were medieval depiction, but it was the Renaissance times. And then some of the scholars looked into that, and they found very spiritual significance to these prints, and did some research, and discovered linkings in with the Kabbalah, with the Tree of Life from the Kabbalah, with biblical scriptures, and a lot of ancient mysteries involved in these. We find that there, each card is a vibration, a frequency, and an energy that we can go into, and we can tap into that energy and create different effects in our lives, or different directions in our lives. So when meditating the cards, the idea is to get very relaxed and present, and in your mind, just step into the card, feel the energy shift. So the first thing, whenever you're attuning to energies, what do you feel emotionally, energetically? I'm I'm just shaking my head because of the delay on the visual. But in any event, you step in, and then look around and see what else you see in the scene beside, behind or around what's in the actual card, and what beings you meet. You may meet spirit guides or animal guides or whatever. So what spirit is saying, this card, thank you, card to meditate. Okay. There's a delay, so you guys aren't seeing the card unless the delay is only on my screen. Sometimes that happens. But I'll tell you that it's the Nine of Pentacles. And sooner or later, you're going to be able to see this. There we go. Now you see it. And so Pentacles is about Earth. Nine is completions. Nine completes a cycle. And so, again, the idea is to get really relaxed, step into the card and meet this being. This may be one of your guides, or an ascended master, or an extraterrestrial guide. So meet this being, and see what you're feeling, and maybe have a little conversation, or what messages you get, and kind of take it from there. And jazzy hands. Okay. Hi, Carissa, by the way. Welcome. And Claire's saying, please press the like button for me. Thank you for that. Yes, we love that. Hi, Eileen. Hi, Roseanne. So let's do a 3-card spread now. Let me take this off. That's interesting. So you feel deception with this card. So go when you meditate, see if you can understand what the deception is then. And I'm saying, yeah, there's a delay. Yeah. I can't solve that is. I upgraded my internet. Everything, the internet supposedly is high speed. Upload is supposedly high speed. I just can't solve this issue with the delay. And it's gotten worse too. Hi, Adam. Hand pink waving. Is that me? My pink hand is waving. Okay. Moving right along. I'm going to do a 3-card spread now, and kind of get some insights into what's going on this week, world at large, our community, your personal lives. Mm. All right, so let me just clear my mind a second. Not sure why, but I've had the "We Are Siamese, If You Please" song stuck in my mind all morning. "We are Siamese, if you please" from Lady in the Tramp. um, I've been getting a lot of cat messages lately. Maybe I'm gonna have a cat before too long. It's been a while since I've had a pet. Okay, I can tell you now. I don't know how long the delay is going to be. I'm actually. Oh, I see myself singing the Siamese song, so so that's a good sign that the delay's not too bad. So what I have here is the Justice card, the Emperor card, and the Ten of Pentacles. Very, very governmental kind of energy in these three cards. I gotta tell you, we were talking about justice. We were talking about Libra earlier and the scales and everything. The emperor is the ruler, right? This is Libra and this is Aries. These are the guiding, astrological influences of these cards. Remember, I was saying each card is a world and a universe unto itself. Now, the major arcana card, which Justice and the Emperor are both major arcana cards. These are more depicting, consciousness, like archetypical levels of consciousness that we can experience in the human. Whereas the minor arcana, which are the numbered cards and the court cards, are more like physical events or things that come up in the world. I mean, that's just a general kind of a explanation. Now, in a way, this can bode very well for money. So I think some of us are going to get some good news about money the next couple of weeks. Anybody here that's been either waiting on a settlement or something that's been unfair, that involves a legal process and involves money, you may be getting some good news. So fingers crossed on that one. We may be getting, just in general, some favorable news about the economy. Maybe partly as the results of the BRICS meeting, or the BRICS, if I don't know if they call it BRICS. um, um, and I just saw your question, Michael, pop up. And we, in the beginning, I just sort of touched on there could be something about, I'm hearing suggestion more than mandates, but yeah, we could be seeing more masking and more of that kind of stuff as we start to get into the autumn and COVID cases ramp up again or whatever. So that's something to be aware of. We have to understand mandate, it does not mean law. There's a speaking of legal stuff, mandates or acts or what's the other word? Directives. Those are not laws. Not technically. Yeah. Now, with this Emperor card right in the middle here, we're being called upon to really learn how to rule our own domain. Don't let others rule us. Don't let our emotions rule us. Don't let the powers that be scare us half to death so that we act inappropriately or we compromise our own values. I think that's a big one. But also, with all of this, I'm seeing war also. I'm seeing talks about war, more money going into the defense budgets, which is a big circle of corruption, because it's like, all right, there's going to be a war in the Ukraine. I mean, there's been a conflict since 2014, probably even before that. It's more of a conflict between NATO nations and the nations east of there, particularly Russia and maybe some of Eastern Europe or Western Asia may be included in that. And so, things happen, things escalate. Lockheed Martin and Raytheon get commissioned to supply arms for a long war. How they know it was going to be a long war, your guess is as good as mine. And war is profitable for certain things. So this circle of corruption that I was talking about, or money gets, basically the bottom line is money gets funneled out of taxpayers' dollars into defense spending, which can also go into the pharmaceuticals or big tech or any of these industries that rule the planet. And then it goes back into the hands of the very wealthy and the very elite that funds the government and funds the corporations for more corruption. And what winds up happening is the poor and the middle class get poorer and the rich get richer, and money is power in this society. So those that have the most money basically run the world. It's sort of what it amounts to. So, we need to see through that game, and we need to question these values and maybe question our own values when it comes to money. Money's a good thing. Money can be spiritual freedom. If I have more money, I can go to more sacred sites. I can take more mediumship courses, for example. And do more things. So, money's a good thing, and it's greed that's, I don't even want to say greed's the root of all evil. It's almost like evil's the root of greed. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, don't mind me, it's a Sunday. But again, 10 of Pentacles is a very good energy here because 10, it's about riches and wealth. So I think it's for us, this group, that, to be aware that money issues may start to get better. And again, if anybody's going through like settlements or going through things where they're thinking of, a lawsuit or they're having some problems at work or whatever, this is good. This is good energy and good news with that. Be balanced, be fair. I'm pointing and you can't see me pointing to the justice card. Be balanced, be fair. That's part of it. Be in control of your own domain. The only thing you can control is your reaction, right? We can't control what goes on outside of ourselves. We can influence it because we influence it all the time with our energy. But we can't control like if a neighbor starts to throw eggs at us, like we can't control that, but we can control how we react to that. And that's key, because our reactions is the energy that we create in those moments. And the way we react is purely anywhere from 97 to 100% programming, 90 to 95% from our childhoods. So basically we emulate our parents when we're 2, 3, and 4 years old. So I find myself reacting with things like frustration the exact same way my father did. I'm like, gee, how did that happen? Well, we get programmed through the power of repetition. That's how the subconscious mind works. That's how we learn things. If you want to develop your intuition in your right hand and learn how to write with your left hand through the power of repetition over weeks or months, you can develop neat handwriting with your non-dominant hand. That's how the subconscious mind works, through the power of repetition. It becomes a program. The fact that I can write my name with my right hand is because my mind is programmed to be able to do that through the power of repetition. In first grade, keep right in between the lines. No, bigger curve. Well, actually, cursive was third grade. Anyway, you get the point and what I'm saying. So it's a subconscious thing. So as myself, Joe Dispenza, one of my go-to guys when I talk about mind over matter and subconscious reprogramming, all the ones that know are saying the same things. Observe your reactions. How do you react to situations in your life? If you can learn to meditate and then step back and be the observer, then you start to get clues into your programming. And I had a long debate one night with an astrologer friend who would insist that our would make excuses basically and insist I'm past the program, I'm not programmed, whatever. I'm like, sorry to say, but you are. We all are. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but we get clues into how we react. So just the fact that there's times I just can't sit back and relax, that I have to just jump into a reaction. I know that that's a programming. I know it's something I need to work on and apply my spiritual tools in order to move through that. So I think we're being called to, again, really start to rule our own domain. And the only way we can do this is how we act and how we react, and how we what we choose to do, what habits we choose to end, what habits we choose to create, um, how we want to change our reactions. Because when we start new things and we keep doing it over and over again, it becomes a habit, and then we keep doing more and more again, then that habit becomes a program. So we want to adopt good programs, acknowledging that the subconscious mind is basically a hard drive of stored information, and computers are built after the mind. And if you dig deeper into that, that was the only model that people had to create computers. How does the brain work? How does the nervous system, the synapses work? The brain cells, all that stuff. How does it transmit information to the body through a nervous system? So they create a hard drive. They create wires. They create the technology around that. So, anyways, so that is very, very brilliant. I swear I'm gonna be singing the "We Are Siamese, If You Please" song. I don't know why that song's been stuck in my head. I don't know if you guys want to know how my mind works, to be honest. But anyway, that said, Spirit says, yeah, I'm gonna have an opportunity to adopt a cat. I would love that. I love the kitties. Either that, or there's something symbolic about cats right now that's important to me. Uh, anyhow, this is my Native American tarot. Um, all right. Clearing my mind. So this will be add to the message or new message, and we got Warrior Woman. All right, the delays only a few seconds now, I think. Warrior Woman, 5 of Vessels, which is similar to the 5 of Cups. So in a minute, you'll actually get to see this card once the image catches up here. Again, people that have jumped on, I apologize for the tech issues. It's just been an ongoing thing. And Warrior Woman, so divine feminine power. And the 5 of Vessels is kind of like the 5 of Cups in a way. In a sense, I feel like it's a message about us starting to forge forward, or to move forward in our own personal lives, our own personal affairs, basically. But the thing is, he keeps the vessels behind, or she, I should say, and then forges forward. So I think part of this is trust your intuition, develop your intuition. It's okay to leave past things behind. Understand we're in a new world, a new reality. Every day changes us, and I think part of the message, given the main cards here, with the Justice card, the Emperor, and the ten of Pentacles here, is plan and to move forward in your lives. It's been a little bit of a quieter energy. We've had Mercury's retrograde now also, and Venus is retrograde. So the 2 innermost planets are retrograde. Uranus is about to go retrograde. And what are the others? Saturn and Pluto. There's 2 other planets in retrograde. Anyways, oh, cool. Yeah. I'm just looking at your comments about Siamese kittens. Awesome. Awesome. I saw that on Instagram or Facebook, actually. And Joe, I'm saying, big fan of Joe. Great. So Winston Churchill said, if you feel like you're going through hell, keep going. Yeah, that's a good metaphor. And she's kind of standing up, she's got her knife, she's ready to go forward. So that's a good metaphor also. Thank you. So I have other divination tools to look at. Let's do our, what do I have with me today? I thought I had more decks than I seem to. All right, well, this is what I'm supposed to work with apparently. Very strange. Oh, hold on. I could have sworn I brought Kyle Gray's deck out with me, but I didn't. So I guess I'm not supposed to work with that one today. But I do have the Sacred Geometry cards. The only way out is through. Thank you. That's a good metaphor. Hi, Tinita. And yeah, you guys that are new, if you want to say hi and where in this world you are coming in from, and be part of our community, our crazy community here. But we are here to make a difference, right? And we are here to grow and to support each other in our spiritual growth. So that's our mission. Yeah. Oh, here we got. Oh, you can't see it yet. But anyway, the sacred geometry card that I pulled is compassion. And the message says the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth. The spirit and between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. So now you can see it, and then I'm going to hold it up because there's a delay. Problems with ongoing problems with internet. Oh, South Africa, beautiful. And yeah, so anyway, so we'll welcome Tinita also. Love that card. Yeah, thank you. So lately, I've been quoting a song by Peter Gabriel called Biko about the student activist that was killed in apartheid Africa by the police in 1977. Bantu Stephen Biko is his name. And the line that I quote a lot, and it's very relevant in today's world, is that, I don't know if Carissa is still in, but she likes songs for her playlist. Biko by Peter Gabriel. And the line is, you can blow out a candle, but you can't blow out a fire. Once the flames begin to catch, the wind will blow it higher. So that's what we're doing. We're starting a bonfire, so it's candles turning into a big fire. Once the fire rages, it's going to change. Fire is the element of change. It's destruction and creation. It's the element closest to spirit, the Big Bang. So basically, that's what's happening. As more and more people start to become aware and awaken to what's going on in the world, and uprising start, they're not going to be able to stop that anymore. The powers that be that want things to stay the way they are, that want the rich to get richer and the poor to suffer. And when I say the rich, I'm talking about the top elite, minute minority people at the suffering of the masses. So put that into perspective. That's just not okay. So they're really working overtime. They're shifting the agendas. They're changing the strategies. It's like in the Hunger Games. I think it was the creepy Donald Sutherland character. There's always moves and counter moves. So as humanity responds to what's been laid before them by the powers that be, there's a counter move with that. But as we get too powerful, as too many people awaken, they're not going to be able to stop that. And they know that. So they're really trying hard to suppress things and getting a little bit sloppy in the process. So anyway, you're welcome. Lori, you can add that to your playlist also. And I love Peter Gabriel. I saw him in concert many, many times in the early 80s. And then I met his drummer, Jerry Murata, whose son went to the same preschool that my son went to. So that's how I got to meet Peter Gabriel's drummer, who's also was a drummer for a couple of Paul McCartney's records and other stuff. So he's a really top drummer. Jerry, I think his name's Jerry Murata. I'm in Woodstock. We have a lot of musicians here. So what else? I have the medicine cards today. Yes, I do. Okay. Let's see what messages we have from the cards we have from this deck. I never got to see Paul McCartney live. I did. I don't want to say meet Sir Paul, but I was at a place in East Hampton, an outdoor venue. God, when was this? But anyway, there's a big to do that Paul McCartney was there, and there's a couple of I guess bodyguards, and I got close enough that I could see his wrinkles. So I got that's as close I got to Paul McCartney. Anyhow, all right. So let me just here to guide me to the right card. Ooh, I love the dolphins. Oh, you can't see it yet. I got the dolphin. It's key. It's number 40. 40 is a very sacred number. Look at the Bible. Look at in Kundalini Yoga, we do a lot of our Kriyas for 40 straight days. And according to yogic sciences, it's validated through, I think, through biology that it really takes 40 days to completely shift a habit. So if we do something for 40 straight days, it really becomes part of us according to these schools of thought. And Jody's saying she misses Janis Joplin. Yeah, I love Janis also. So dolphins about mana, which is breath. I mean, also dolphins, I think creativity. I think Pleiadians, because when I channel, every time I see dolphins in my mind, I know the Pleiadians are here. I just got that association somehow. So I think them or humpback whales and some of these beings are actually from the Pleiades. I could be wrong. I'm not a expert on starseed origins. I know a little bit, but I'm not an expert on it. But what it says in the book is the dolphin speaks to us of the breath of life. The only thing that humans cannot go without for more than a few minutes. We can live without water and food for days, but oxygen is the source of our sustenance. Within the breath, we encounter the rhythm of energy that all life emits. In changing the rate or rhythm of texture of our breath, we can tap into any other life forms or creatures. I'm going to read that line again because I think that's our message here. In changing the rate or rhythm texture of our breath, we can tap into any other life form or creature. This is a very easy way to connect with divine energy coming from Great Spirit as well as with your own personal rhythm. So I'm a big advocate of breath work. A lot of you guys know that. I teach breath work, which reminds me I'm overdue for doing a breath work video. I haven't done one of those for a while on the channel. So I'm going to write that down on the list of videos to do to teach you guys some new breath work, to change the texture of your breathing, to change your perception, to change your reality. And so our breath is our connection to the universe. Everything moves, everything expands and contracts. The earth expands and contracts. Say we sped the earth, the time like a time lapse where a million years was like a few seconds. You'd actually be able to see a subtle expansion, contraction, subtle wobbling in the earth. We can't see it because it happens so slow, but yes, the earth breathes, the sun breathes. Everything has an expansion, contraction, a yin and a yang, a rhythm, a cadence. That's how the universe moves. So through the rhythm of our breath and the rhythm of our heartbeat, we can connect with universal flow and rhythm. And by doing so, we connect with spirit. And by connecting with spirit, we start to know who we truly are and why we're here and what our life mission is. So work with your breath. That's the message here. Is it Andromeda with the dolphins? It could be. Yeah, like I said, I'm not an expert. I don't know. And I know. My brother and I were going to run away and go to Woodstock. Only problem was my brother was 11 and I was 9 at the time. We're talking about 1969 now. I mean, maybe, or I wasn't even 9 yet. I was still 8. Anyway, and we were living in New York City. I mean, it was never going to happen. We talked about running away and going to Woodstock, but 10 and 8-year-old boy weren't going to get very far. That's for sure. So anyhow, where are my angel cards? Sorry, did I? Well, yeah, exactly. I was a little too small to go to Woodstock back then. Although I wish I had. There's a time where I wanted to get abducted. When I was a little child and go back home. Then there's a time I wanted to run away with the hippies. I think that's only because my parents were my microphone's pooping out. Then my parents were basically hippie fearing, and they believed at the time that hippies were kidnapping children. So I was like, cool, I want to be kidnapped by the hippies. Um, anyhow, so I'm using a different angel deck today. This is Angel Therapy card by Doreen Virtue. And this is the card they're drawing me to right now. Archangel Raphael. So it's a time of healing too. The healing angel is with you. Support your healing work. That's a good final message here. Healing. So do your self-healing. Do your breath work. We can heal ourselves through our breath. And I've done that. Through mind over matter and breath work. And a lot of you that follow me regularly have heard the story about how I cured incurable disease through mind over matter and intention. Doctors weren't going to do it. They were just poisoning me with medications that were damaging my liver and other things. But 3 years it took, but I cured it. And you can too. Virtually everything. Of course, sometimes our soul chooses our path of illness as part of our lesson and growth. So if that's the case, learn the lesson, then you can heal yourself. So anyhow, I'm just looking at your confirmation about any information about the full moon. Yeah, full moon is at 7 degrees Pisces. 7 is Neptune ruled. Pisces is Neptune ruled. The full moon is the moon is about the subconscious. It's the largest full moon of the year, so it's the biggest super moon of the year. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be intense. And the idea is we're going to get a lot of information through our subconscious and through our dreams. So do your dream journaling, these next couple of weeks. Work, double down on subconscious reprogramming, because this full moon is going to really help us to illuminate, just like the full moon illuminates the night. It's going to illuminate the subconscious and start to bring up some of the shadow aspects. And we have to see it in order to heal it. Things are shadows because they're hidden. You shine a light on a shadow, it's no longer a shadow. So we want to shine the light on our subconscious shadows. And when we do that, we reclaim part of our soul. We reclaim part of our lost soul parts. We start to heal programming. We start to heal traumas. And we reclaim part of our power. And we start to understand who we are as spirit. And we start to understand more of our mission. So do a lot of meditating. Here on the channel, we always do a full moon activation with the master teachers. So these are interdimensional beings, ascended beings that I work with in channeling work, and they do frequency work. So if you tune in and you are present in the meditation, these beings will affect your energy fields to assist you in your awakening and assist you in your opening and clearing old energies. So we do that every full moon here on the channel. And then other times during the month on the Patreon group called Spirit Mind Family, which I'll leave information on the pinned comment if you want to check that out. We do accelerated frequency channel there to help you safely accelerate your spiritual growth. So is that good for information about the full moon? And welcome, horses. Trigger Hope. Thank you for asking that. And your Chiron is in Pisces. I forgot where my Chiron is. Right now, where is Chiron now? It's somehow that and Venus retrograde. We're kind of like influencing us. Yeah, so a lot of healing. This is a very healing time. And I think this Pisces full moon also is really going to assist in our deeper healing, karmic healing, things that we brought into this lifetime from other incarnations, as well as old childhood stuff, old wounds. Again, we're going to have another spike of energy, another opportunity to take a good close look at that. Call in your spirit guides, because it can be a little bit scary, like our own shadows can be very intimidating, and nobody wants to feel uncomfortable, so that people tend to avoid that anyway. We call on like Archangel Michael or Jesus or the Buddha, or whatever your belief system is, because spirit, it's just that. It's spirit, it's energy. We have a belief system. And because spirit is here to point us in the direction of truth, they're going to give us things in our own frame of references, so that we understand it and can follow better. So, if you're Jewish, you would have different energies working. I mean, it's the same energies, but different ways of seeing those energies. And if you were Christian or Buddhist or Zoroastrianism or whatever that's called. Anyways, Pisces is your rising, so you are very intuitive if Pisces is your rising, and probably make a natural counselor also. Mine is in Sagittarius, and I'm doing very Sagittarian things with my life. So there we have. Oh, your cats have been arguing lately. Oh yeah. Yeah, I swear. think I think a cat's gonna show up on my doorstep one day. I don't know. I just had that feeling, like, oh, I've got to keep it. I miss having cats. Anyways, I'd like to have more than one too. Anyhow, anyways, we've been about an hour. I love you. Thank you. I know Friday I think it's Friday or Thursday, whenever the full moon is. I think here it's Thursday. Wednesday. Okay, so this Wednesday, so that's just in a couple of days. We're going to do channeling here. Um, I'd love to be able to get in a full moon forecast. I just don't see where I have time to do that. But anyway, we kind of touched on that here. But we'll do the channeling. Then September is going to be active. Right around the equinox, we're going to do mediumship again. So I'll do mediumship messages for you guys somewhere around the 22nd. Around then, whenever I'm off, I guess. All right. Love you. Talk to you. See you guys soon. Thank you so much, Jody, for that comment. I love you. What are you saying? I came to tell you how much I love you. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Face red, heart shape. I thought you were saying that I look like a red face heart shape. Am I red today? Well, my shirt's very red. All right. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for being part of our community.